everyone, I'm Ariel Kennan, the Fellow for the Digital Benefits Network here at Georgetown University's Beck Center for Social Impact and Innovation. Thank you all so much for joining us today. The Beck Center, if you're not familiar, brings together students, expert practitioners, and extended networks to work on projects that solve societal challenges using data, design, technology, and policy. Our projects test new ways for public and private institutions to leverage data and analytics, digital technologies, and service design to help more people. In order to support this work, we host several communities of practice here at the Beck Center, including convening state chief data officers, digital service delivery teams, and cooperatives of governments and partners jointly buying and building common software. Today's event is hosted by our Digital Benefits Network, which convenes practitioners who work in and alongside every level of government to spark dialogue, share resources, and support better digital delivery of public benefits and services. A shared vision unites our members to make economic and well-being supports more equitable, effective, and easy to navigate. The Digital Benefit Network lifts up approaches across benefit programs with a focus on food and nutrition, which includes SNAP and WIC, health, which includes Medicaid and CHIP, cash assistance, which includes TANF and UBI, and unemployment insurance. We really work to help solve current challenges in human-centered digital delivery of public benefits, and also scan for what's on the horizon through equity and ethics lenses. So there are many ways for you to engage with us at the Digital Benefits Network. We host public events like these to bring cross-sector practitioners together to build knowledge and solve for shared challenges. We also host smaller convenings of communities of practice, like our Unemployment Insurance Technology Coordinating Coalition, and co-chair the Best Practices Working Group with our colleagues at APHSA. We also pursue ongoing research prompted by areas of inquiry from network members. Some of our current areas of investigation include the use of digital login and identity verification across benefits programs, as well as benefit eligibility rules as code. And we also build tools for the ecosystem, including the Digital Benefits Hub. So invite you to check out our website, subscribe at digitalbenefitshub.org, and please follow us on social media. And now I will pass the mic to my colleague, Jess Manili from APHSA.
Thank you, Ariel. Hi, everyone. It is so awesome to be here with everyone and share this resource today. I am Jess Manili. I'm the Manager of Process Innovation at APHSA. And I have some colleagues on the line today that I'll also shout out. Matt Lyons is here. He's our Senior Director of Policy and Practice. And Morgan McKinney's also on the line and has made some awesome contributions to this effort since she joined the team just a month ago. And sorry we don't have your picture up, Morgan, but major shout out for jumping right in. So I was so excited to see the registration list with some familiar names, but also some new names. And for those who aren't familiar, I'll just take a moment here to share a bit about the American Public Human Services Association. At APHSA, we are the National Membership Association representing state and local health and human services agencies across the country. Our membership's made up of agencies that administer public programs like SNAP, economic supports, child and family well-being services, essentially the key building blocks for well-being like access to food and nutrition, jobs, quality childcare, and other community supports. So with and through these members, we at APHSA work to influence federal policy, build capacity in the field, and connect stakeholders through our conferences and many other learning opportunities. And we're committed to bipartisanship, focusing on outcomes by impacting policies and practices that allow families and communities to thrive. So through our work, here we have like our influence, build, connect model. We influence government policy and practice by linking human services leaders and their staff with federal policymakers. So this helps agency appointees, Congress, and the administration understand what's really working on the ground and how national policies can be improved or updated and modernized to fit today's realities for the longer term. We also build the capacity of our members to enable healthy families and communities through a range of different learning opportunities, technical assistance, convening communities of practice, much like the Beck Center does, distributing our various publications like the Policy and Practice magazine. Our October issue just came out. We have weekly newsletters, and we take on special products and projects like the Digital Benefits Hub. And then finally, we connect human services leaders to each other and to their partners through multiple platforms, including virtual and in-person events. And using these platforms, leaders and partners accelerate the learning that we do on the ground and generate practical solutions together. So I'm really excited at the end of this to talk more about our upcoming event next week. But with that, we at APHSA really look forward to leveraging our relationships with public agencies and program administrators to inform the Digital Benefits Hub's continued development. And we believe it's just really critical to socialize this resource for practitioners and broadly ensure that government voices are at the table so that this incredible tool can help make a difference as we work across systems and sectors to modernize service delivery and improve outcomes for our families. So I'll pass it back to the Digital Benefits Network team now to dive in.
Thanks so much, Jess. So now what we've all actually been waiting for, let's dive into the hub. The Digital Benefits Hub is a dynamic open source library of resources, case studies, and implementation tools for public benefits professionals. You can access it at digitalbenefitshub.org and even follow along with today's demo. The idea for the Digital Benefits Hub actually arose from a series of interviews and focus groups we've conducted earlier this year, as well as the countless conversations we've had working in the field. We spoke with state and local practitioners who are delivering and administering public benefits, and we also spoke with our peer and partner organizations that create resources and tools for assisting with delivery. In the course of these conversations, it became clear that practitioners in this field need a consolidated, quote, one-stop shop for publications, case studies, toolkits, templates, and examples, and more. In addition to validating the concept of the site itself, we've continued these conversations to inform and react to the design of the site. But we're not finished, and we're going to keep going. The hub builds on the past year of prototyping we've done on the Civic Design Library to help validate how to display, catalog, and crowdsource information. And we'll continue to iterate on the Digital Benefits Hub as more people use the site, express new needs, and more content gets added. So we really look forward to your feedback and your ideas of where this all can go. So in addition to content from the Digital Benefits Network and APHSA, we've curated content from leading organizations in the field, which include our contributors, the Aspen Institute's Financial Security Program, Benefits Data Trust, the Center on Budget and Policy Priorities, and Code for America. We will also continue to expand the content with contributions from all of you. So now let's actually take the hub for a spin. The homepage presents multiple pathways to explore the content. By searching or exploring, and also introduces the idea of submitting your content. The Digital Benefits Hub brings the tools and resources together for you to achieve effective, equitable, and easy to access public benefits. For those wanting to explore, here we have the benefits journey, where every step of the journey represents an interaction between a person and an implementing agency. We've created content and collections by outreach and awareness, eligibility, applying, enrolling, and maintaining benefits. We've also grouped content into cross-cutting themes. These are topics that are relevant to implementers all across the country at every level of government and across benefit programs. We'll be adding more of these topics as new cross-cutting themes emerge and also as more people submit content. So now let's take a look at the human-centered design page. We've written introductions to contextualize each topic and included featured content to help you know where to dive in. Here we have a series of guides that lay out vision and methodologies from Code for America and the New York City Service Design Studio, as well as content on featured subtopics that help you go deeper faster. Here we have 2 guides on scaling human-centered design created by the Digital Benefits Network and Sevilla, and a complimentary online workshop hosted by Sevilla. This is then followed by case studies that demonstrate projects that have used a human-centered methodology. And then all content which you can sort and filter, which we'll show you about in just a minute. All right, now let's take a look at the resource library. These are primers, reports, guides, and even recorded webinars that can be helpful to introduce and contextualize problems, identify solutions, and help make a plan of action. One way to filter is by topic. So let's pick eligibility and digitizing policy, and you'll see the results begin to change. You can then further filter to find something specific. So one way is by format. Or by benefit program. Let's pick Medicaid. You can also filter by level of government. Let's pick federal, as well as the source sector. Let's take a quick look at a resource. Here you can see the topic it falls under, the authoring organization and individual authors, get a brief summary, as well as click the link to view or download the resource. And also use the social links to share. All right, next, let's take a look at the artifact library. Here you'll find templates, design documents, code bases, procurement examples, and other very practical tools that can lighten the implementation load. We have a base set of artifacts, and we'll be looking to expand this offering as more implementers join and contribute artifacts from their organization or agency. Let's also take a look at an artifact. Similar to the resource, we can see the topic it falls under, the authoring organization and authors, read the summary, and then also click the links to access, and in many cases, download the artifact, like this gorgeous integrated redesigned application from Michigan. And once again, the social links are also available. And let's look at our last content area, the case study library. Case studies can be a helpful and powerful tool for building a case for replication and framing the path forward, including getting buy-in from your leadership. We can also take a look here at a case study. It has similar information as the artifacts and resources, as well as describes the problem the team is trying to solve, outcomes and impact, as well as replicable takeaways. Below, you can click the links to get more information, as well as get in touch with project partners, as well as use those social links to share. If you're looking for something specific, we've actually put the search feature front and center on the top of every page. We know that you might not have time to read every report that lands in your inbox or attend every webinar or conference that sounds interesting. But when you have an urgent or specific question, you want that high quality, easy to find content and fast. Now let's go over submitting content. We're going to navigate back to the homepage and click that Submit Content button. From here, you'll then select the type of content you want to add and fill out the form accordingly. When you contribute to the Digital Benefits Hub, you get your resources into the hands of practitioners while also making the hub a more robust tool for everyone. The response has been inspiring with contributions so far, and we think the enthusiasm speaks for real need for this site. We'll review your submission once we receive it and get back to you with any questions you might have. Your data also becomes part of our open data set, so let's take a look. If we go down to the footer and click on data and licensing, we can then get access. All of the data from the Digital Benefits Hub is licensed under Creative Commons and is available for download and reuse. So click on the data set you want, which will then open the live Airtable view, and you can use the data as you'd like. And that concludes our demo for now. Let's get to your questions.
Thank you, Ariel. That was great. There's so much to the Digital Benefits Hub, and we didn't even go over everything. So everyone, be sure to check it out for yourself. The link to the hub was dropped in the chat box. It's been moving a little bit, but it's in there. We can redrop the link if you'd like. But now I'm sure some of you have questions for us. Please use the Q&A feature and we'll get to those. We'd love to hear from you. But also, as we queue up these questions, I want to take a moment to gather some data, because why not, with the Zoom poll. So as our questions queue up, please take a moment to complete the poll that you should see pop up on your screen. And while that's happening, I will ask a question and Ariel will answer it first. If you could also spotlight Ariel while we're in our Q&A, that would be great. Our first question is from Max Guinness. Are you looking for original content only, or would you accept something cross-posted, for example, from another organization's blog?
That is a great question. So we are not trying to be a replacement for anyone's website or blog. We definitely have a lot of pieces that are cross-posted. Of course, welcome individual and unique content as well that might not have a home somewhere else. But most of our content lives also on the contributing organizations' sites. One thing we really heard in our research was like, man, I don't have time to keep track of every organization putting out this great work. I want a centralized place for it. And so we're trying to bring it into a centralized place and then also help link people back out to the content where it exists in its home. So kind of a mix of both types of content.
And a follow-up to that question was, how's the hub being financed?
Sorry, what was the
how is this effort being
financed? I see the question now.
Or funded, yeah.
Yeah, so the Digital Benefits Network, as part of the Beck Center, has philanthropic funding. Can follow up with some more specifics on that, and we have ongoing grant support to support it. But we're a nonprofit. APHSA is a nonprofit, and there's not any other type of corporate or vendor sponsorship in the site.
Awesome, thank you. All right, we have another question. It is, would you consider adding GitHub repos, for example, of open tools that are highlighted in the hub?
We would love your GitHub repos. Send us all the GitHub repos. Codebase is one of our artifact types. You will see some already posted in there. We know that is far from complete, and so would love to see more of those and really want to promote the open source code bases that do exist in this space and hopefully encourage many more to be created.
Awesome, thank you for that. I'm going to give us about 2 more minutes for questions to come in. If you have questions, we had some people drop them in the chat. You can use the Q&A feature. You can send them directly to me if you like. But this space is really for you to just ask questions about the chat. If you have any comments or reflections on what the hub is, what it can do, you can also put those in the chat. We will have a conversation and a discussion. So I'll give us a few more moments for any lingering questions to come up. All right, and our poll will be closing in about a minute. All right, can you put in the tags for LinkedIn? Yes, and the other social sites again, absolutely. Awesome. All right. Ariel, if you're comfortable, we can move on to our next.
Should we do the rest of the questions?
Yeah, we have a couple more. Sorry, let me pull up my Q&A. There we go. All right, our questions came in. Okay, so the next question is just curious, how many resources total are currently on the platform?
I believe we hit an even 300 as of last night, which is really shows the contributions from our partner organizations that have been really strong. We also had an amazing set of citations to pull from our pre-existing research at the Beck Center. And so we hope to continuously grow that. The case studies right now are mostly written by the Beck Center. We would like to really grow that and have much more featured content of showing how this work is actually happening. And we'll talk more in just a minute about the artifacts, which is one of the areas we think will be most useful to many practitioners to have more of these real examples. And we have the least amount of information in it so far. So really look forward to your help with making that a much more robust set.
Awesome. Our next question is from Edgar. Who would we contact about providing content or resources? And what is the review process?
Yeah, so the forms, it's at digitalbenefitshub.org/submit is the primary way we can take in content. You can also email us at digitalbenefits@georgetown.edu if you have any questions. Also, if you have, let's say, a big list of things you want to add, you can send us that as a list and we can help get it into Airtable. You don't have to submit the form 20 times to try to get something in there if you have more stuff. Our review procedure is that everything that comes in, we do look at it. We make sure that the data is complete, that it fits with the overall themes and content of the site. We also make sure that all the metadata is correct behind the scenes and then post it live. But we do look at everything and it does not go live on the site until we have reviewed it.
Thank you. Our next question says, are there any plans for further community events centered on the hub content? And I think we can kind of merge the next question too, which is, will you be organizing events related to this work in the future? What type of events and at what frequency? And I can kind of take that question on. So we'll definitely have more events centered around the hub and its content. Actually, at the end of this, I'm going to announce a cool event that we have coming up, but we will be doing quarterly calls based around certain topics. Our first quarterly call will be based on digital identity, and I'll drop the information, the RSVP for that at the end of our session today, which is in a few. But we are going to try to have events kind of frequently, but there's no real cadence to that. We are looking to have a large annual conference in 2023, bringing all of the benefits together and across kind of benefit and collaborative way as well. So yes, to answer your question, we will be having more events centered around the hub content and they will happen periodically. All right, moving on to our next question. In the subscribe form on the web, you mentioned opportunities to interact via affinity groups. Are these already extant or in the works? I can also answer that question too. But I'll say we have communities of practices so far. We have a couple that are already in existence, but we are looking to create more communities of practice and affinity groups. And Ariel, I know you probably have something else to add.
Yeah, we have been identifying groups in a few different ways. One is looking at groups that have some activity in them already, and helping bring them into having a formal home. So we newly added our Unemployment Insurance Technology Coordinating Coalition, which started almost 2 years ago now, on a volunteer basis. They are now part of the Digital Benefits Network, and we're so glad to welcome them into our network and help support them to even greater impact. We also have some smaller, maybe more a little bit closed door, less kind of open to new members groups. And then we're also always looking for new areas of activity. And so one piece that we are launching is focused on benefit eligibility rules as code, and people who are really focused on how do you translate policy and rules into software code, and some of the decisions and standardization that can happen there. There's more about those communities of practice on our Digital Benefits Network site. And so encourage you to take a look there, and feel free to get in touch with us if there's something that strikes your interest, as well as if there's something that you think really should exist that doesn't exist yet.
Awesome, thank you. Our next question is, does the site have a follow us feature to alert us when new content is posted? And is the content only available at this URL? The site is currently blocked by their agency's firewall.
Ooh,
Good
that
call.
is interesting that it's blocked. Let us follow up with you on that. Surprised that they're doing something tricky to block that. Can we follow up with you? I didn't see who asked that question. I'm sorry that it's blocked internally, but let's investigate that with you and help fix that. We also, interesting. Oh, CBPP is blocking it. Okay. Let's take a closer look at that. Right now we are posting on our social media accounts. It doesn't have a feature that has things that go when everything new goes live. We do plan on using our newsletter to highlight some of those new pieces for you to check out. But yes, let's please check out why some of our cybersecurity friends are blocking the site. It's useful. It's for work.
That's so interesting. For the person, I think Amy asked about reopening the poll. There will be a survey at the end of this that has the exact same questions that'll pop up automatically in your web browser. So if you didn't get the opportunity to participate in the poll yet, you will have another opportunity at the very end of this session. So please stay with us until the end. Okay, so we have time for a few more questions. Are you able to share the review rubric to ensure we're submitting content that fits the requirement?
We have a high-level rubric that we're rolling out with our contest that we're going to talk about in a few minutes, which is the beginnings of having more clear documentation about what makes it on the site and does not. So far, we've just been getting excellent content, so we haven't had to be quite as close and strict about it. We're also trying to see kind of what we get in on a more general basis, and then being responsive to that. But our goal is that we will have much more clear submission guidelines and really help people know what type of content is right for this site and this tool, as opposed to maybe other places.
Awesome. And for our last, I'm gonna combine two of the questions, but for this last question, can you say more about the relationship between your organization's networks, convenings, technical assistance, and the hub? How will they inform each other?
I mean, we really use all of them as feedback loops to each other, I would say. We're listening across all of our work at the Beck Center, as well as with our partner organizations, to really understand what are emerging and existing needs in the field, and try to be able to respond to them accordingly, and also really collaborate where appropriate, when there might be shared goals or kind of outcomes that we're working towards, trying very hard to not go it alone. Within the Digital Benefits Network itself, we've done a lot of publishing previously, which we've then now not only the spark for building the network on top of came from a lot of that research, but we've also gone on to then really host events like our rules as code research became the demo day that we did over the summer. We're now, we did some new publishing on that. And then now we're also standing up a community of practice around it. So some of these pieces come a bit full circle for the listening. But we really think now having more robust tools like the hub will allow us to be able to create new resources and opportunities around more of these emerging topics, as well as having the network to be, the group saying, this is what we need, these are the questions that we have, these are the things that we're challenged by, and that we can really use that to inform and influence up into the other activities of the network.
Thank you. All right, I'm going to combine these two questions together, and I think Mike can answer them. But will there be an email listserv specifically for the hub to announce updates? And then, so the answer to that question is there will be a digital benefits network listserv and community group, which, as Ariel was saying, they all talk to each other. So it won't be specifically just for the hub, but you will receive hub updates through joining the digital benefits network. That's right. Okay. And then from Keisha, can we pitch ideas for future topics for quarterly calls, or are they all decided? We would absolutely love your input on quarterly calls. At the poll at the end of the session, there's a space about upcoming topics or future topics you would like to see discussed. Please drop it there. If not, you can shoot me an email. I'll drop my email in the chat box and we will capture that for you. And then the last two are kind of technical question. Well, yeah. Are you coordinating with NASWA's IT Service Center UI focus? And is there an RSS feature for this site?
So we have had discussions with NASWA. They've joined some of our coalition calls previously. There is not currently an RSS feature that's activated on the site. I've not tried to run it through an RSS reader either. Miss you, good old Google Reader. I think that answered both of those.
All right, okay, I'm gonna try to squeeze these last two in. But this question says, you mentioned that you're especially looking for certain types of contributions, for example, artifacts and case studies, but are there any topics or issue areas that, or specific benefit programs where there are also gaps? I'm sorry, I chopped that sentence up a little bit. Essentially, we're looking for certain things, but are there gaps in what we have already?
I mean, I would say we're always still growing. We really, put on a baseline set of content. I do not think we have everything that exists that's high quality on every single topic or benefit program that we have on the site currently. And so there are fewer areas, I would say, that in the things that exist that we say we're identifying huge gaps. We think it's a good baseline. We're really looking for additional pieces under the topics and the kind of the filters that are currently on the site, but also really looking for what are other areas of content that we should grow because there's a good body of work around it, or it's a really, pressing challenge for many people.
Awesome, thank you. Okay, so the next question is, you mentioned that the hub is looking for equitable tech. Does the hub review resources for potential bias and discrimination?
I'm going to try to interpret the question, which is that it might be a resource or a tool that has inequitable or biased outcomes. I think we are doing the best that we can to understand kind of impact and implementation considerations from things that might be shared. We don't necessarily have a way to, do a full review for bias and discrimination. We are looking for people reporting good outcomes from the tools that they're sharing. And I think also having kind of a feedback and listening loop on things that others may say have less equitable outcomes, but definitely have an eye and ear towards that.
Thank you. All right, this is from Adam. Have you thought about allowing users to upvote or otherwise rate content that they are finding and using on the hub?
I love that enhancement idea, Adam. Things like this are the exact kind of thing we want to hear from you. One, that something like this might be a useful feature to you. Something like that not only could help us prioritize which content to show at the highest level of the site, but also would give us even stronger analytics about who's using information and what's actually being accessed on the site. So love that as an enhancement feature. Want to hear more ideas like that. So a great model for the types of feedback we would love to hear.
Yes. We have about 5 to 7 more minutes for questions, so keep them coming. We're really excited to answer them. You all have great ideas. The next question is, when do you expect the new resources from contributors? Sorry, I'm reading this all wrong. When do you expect the new resources from contributions to the hub to go up on the Airtable?
We'll be adding content on a weekly basis is our plan right now. We did get some submissions that came in just before we went live, and we actually just locked and held the data so the site would be super stable for everyone today, because we knew we'd be driving kind of record traffic towards it. So more things coming up very soon. I have things kind of sitting waiting in a queue actually for us to go live.
Awesome, thank you. Our next question is, well, a comment first. I'm excited to share this recording to the larger team. When can we expect this recording to be available to share, and where will it be sent? I can answer that question. The recording will be available by the end of next week, if not earlier than that. The goal is to get it out a little bit earlier than that, but everyone who RSVP'd to the event, whether you showed up or not, will receive a follow-up email that will have a link directly to the recording of this event today. All right, one more question. So it's kind of combining the last two questions. You could consider activities soliciting feedback on resources to make them more accessible, equitable, and a feature similar to an upvote or a comment feature. So that was just a comment around another cool feature we can add to the hub. That's a great idea. All right. Any other questions? I'm going to ask Louisa or our volunteers if there's any I skipped, so please let me know. I think we got to them all. Okay.
Do you mind, Chanel, if I add some APHSA answers to some of those questions?
Yes, Louisa or Michaela, can you spotlight Jess, please? Thank you.
Thank you. I just saw a question earlier around the communities of practice, and I threw a note in the chat there, but I wanted to just highlight that we will have a new community of practice starting next month in November, specifically for agency practitioners. It's a community of practice for process innovation. So I'm very excited about that. Morgan and myself will be leading it. And in the chat, there's a registration link. So if you're joining today from an agency at the state or local level, consider signing up for that community of practice. And then just a quick note too on the philosophy behind our partnership with the Beck Center. Just so excited about this partnership and knowing that Beck has tremendous design resources to bring ideas like this to fruition. We've at APHSA heard a real need for something like this on the ground from practitioners. And also we just know that there's such a hunger to see each other's resources and artifacts and the things that you've used in practice to bring these promising practices to life in your work, to highlight them and be able to share them across agencies. And so we really envision this being the starting point for getting those promising practices utilized on the ground. So I won't spoof ourselves in our plans that we'll share soon around the ISM conference next week, but heads up, exciting announcement coming.
Thank you so much just for that. I think I'll leave quiet space. I used to be a teacher, so awkward silences are not a problem, but we do have a few more minutes for questions, so I will leave us some time for anybody who has any lingering questions. I did see a question about submitting resources, so I'm going to redrop the link to the page that you can submit resources to. And again, I dropped my email in the chat and also the digital benefits email in the chat. So if you have general questions, comments, and you want us to be able to see them, we would love to receive those. any honestly, any additional features you could think of, any content ideas, like literally anything that's coming to your brain right now, please share that. Don't hesitate to send us an email with that information. All right, I think we can close our chat up. Ariel, any last things you want to say before we close out of our Q&A portion?
Thank you so much for these great questions. Feel free to drop any others that you have, and really appreciate you all joining us. And I realize we're on to the contest slide already. So let's go over and talk about the contest.
Woo. All right, that was a great Q&A session, everyone. Thank you all for your participation. Before we close today, I wanted to share some more exciting news to encourage collaboration, best practice sharing, and participation. I'd like to announce our Trailblazer content competition in partnership with APHSA. We are asking you to contribute to the hub. I know we've asked already, but the contest begins now at the end of this launch and will close on Tuesday, October 25th. The winners will receive a cute little prize from us and will be announced Wednesday morning on October 26th at the closing general session of the APHSA ISM Tech Conference, as well as via our social channels. So that is another plug for you to follow us at BeckDBN on Twitter and on LinkedIn at Digital Benefits Network. In order to participate, all you need to do is visit the hub, go to the submission page, which the link I just dropped into the chat box, and upload your high quality, best in class resources and artifacts from one of the 5 categories listed on the screen. And I hope we might be able to expand to more categories with the suggestions that you all have offered for us today. But for more information, examples of what type of artifacts or resources and case studies we're looking for, frequently asked questions such as how many winners will there be? What is the scoring rubric? All of those things you can find on our contest page at digitalbenefitshub.org/contest, and that will be dropped into the chat box as well. All right. Any questions about our contest, just put them in the chat. And I will highlight that starting on Sunday, the Digital Benefits Network team will be going to the APHSA ISM conference in National Harbor, Maryland, the following week. So we'll be there in person. If anybody else is going, we will be tabling at the conference as well. So drop by, come say hey. You'll see me, Ariel, Elizabeth, and some of our student analysts. All right, Liz, I will pass it to you. Thank you.
Yeah, I'd just like to say thank you again to all of you for joining us. We are delighted to have you, and we're really looking forward to your contributions to the hub and to the Digital Benefits Network community. As Jess was saying in the chat, I really want to echo, it's so exciting to hear new ideas, feedback on this tool, and we're really excited to see how we can continue to build this together. Thanks, Chanel.
Thanks, Elizabeth. Now as we wrap up, we'll close with what's next for the DBN. And as I mentioned before, next up is our quarterly call. So be on the lookout for more information to RSVP for our inaugural call. That link will be dropped into the chat box as well. Our quarterly call is designed to be a safe space for conversations between practitioners, states, and even advocates to convene and discuss prominent topics in the public benefits field. Our first session will focus on digital identity, as I mentioned before. I'll plug and shout out our researcher, Elizabeth. She's doing amazing research right now on digital identity topics. So I'm really excited to see about that. And she will be sharing some of her research findings at our quarterly call. Also, as a last reminder, to join the Digital Benefits Network, please use that subscribe link that was dropped into the chat so you can join the listserv and stay up to date on all of the things Digital Benefits Network. Last plug for the Twitter. I got a message that our LinkedIn link is going to an internal page, so I'll be sure to get the correct page for you all and drop that there. And finally, if you weren't able to complete the poll earlier, a survey will pop up at the end of this webinar. If you did fill out the poll, you can ignore it. Again, we have a lot of exciting things coming up, so don't be strangers. I'm going to drop into the chat box, or it's already dropped into the chat box, a page with all the links we've dropped so far into the chat box all in one place. I will update that LinkedIn page, but you can also just go to LinkedIn, go to the Beck Center page, or type in Digital Benefits Network. And with that, I want everyone to have a great day. It's Friday Junior, so have a great weekend as well. Again, reach out if you have any questions. We would be happy to answer them. And we are finished with our hub launch. Thank you, everybody.